very good evening to you all. Bagetso, 4 years ago, I stood on this very stage as I accepted to undertake the role of UNAIDS Special Ambassador for the empowerment and engagement of young people in Botswana. It is a great honor and privilege once more as I stand here this evening as we celebrate the recognition bestowed upon me, this time as the UNAIDS champion for the empowerment and engagement of adolescent girls and young women. I once more accept this recognition on behalf of our great nation, Botswana, our people of Botswana, Botswana, my family, and of course my great mentors. And one of those great mentors, of course, being our dear President, His Excellency, Dr. Mokgweetsi Eric Keabetswe-Masisi. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to UNAIDS for the recognition and confidence placed in me as I accept this responsibility, joining many others who are also championing this cause. I'm very proud of this recognition, of my commitment and courage to make a difference in the lives of one of the most important segments of the world's population, the adolescent girls and young women. I consider this recognition as an urgent trusteeship mission where I, together with other trustees, have limited time to achieve a given set of objectives, in particular, striving towards achieving the worldwide target of ending AIDS by 2030. I would like to express my deep gratitude to my country, Botswana, for availing me the space and rights to utilize my advocacy platforms to the fullest. Once more, to you, dear husband, His Excellency, the President of Botswana, Dr. Mokgweetsi-Masisi, for your unwavering support, allowing me that space to thrive, and more importantly, allowing me to be me. Ladies and gentlemen, I shall not scare any lady or woman here who aspires to be First Lady, but I can tell you, it is not an easy role. It is very beautiful, very fulfilling, because you are serving many people and you see yourself impacting lives. So I thank my family for carrying me through these 5 difficult but very beautiful and fulfilling years. I'd also like to thank my women anchors who remain very secret and private, who are taking care of staff in the front line and also backstage. Wonderful women, my anchors, I thank you for taking care of me. And of course, I thank our daughter, Atile, for holding on and being that strong little girl while I did all this. She allowed me to be mother to many other young girls. I thank you, Atile. Ladies and gentlemen, who are these adolescent girls and young women? What makes them a subject of interest? They face numerous challenges and are often not heard, although they are fully capable of speaking. Where are these girls seated in the room right now? Right there. We keep them at the back and we've kept their mouths closed. If it were by me, these young girls could actually be seated in front. But I don't want to disrupt the proceedings. So, I shall not demand for their tables to be brought in front. But Bumwanaka, just imagine that you are right here in front. Could I please have 4 of you to step up on stage and support me as I continue with this address? Fast, ladies. Remember, the last strides, very fast. Just look at how beautiful they are. Look at their beautiful smiles, their beautiful dresses, the way they walk, the way they smile. Despite this beauty, outward beauty, they face many adversities and challenges. Their companion mentioned these challenges earlier, ranging from HIV/AIDS, sexual abuse, teenage pregnancies, forced marriages, mental health, and unemployment. While a lot of these challenges still persist, we are all aware that the COVID-19 pandemic did not make it any better. Let me thank UNAIDS for the just ended term as the UNAIDS Special Ambassador for the empowerment and engagement of young people in Botswana, a role that enhanced my advocacy efforts. I suppose I graduated from perhaps the wavering sounds and momentum of a fan, that effect, right to a hurricane. I thank you, UNAIDS. I was able to interact and engage with a wide cross-section of stakeholders, both in school and out of school children, the youth, the traditional leadership, including Bahumagadi, where I called also on Bahumagadi and asked them to help me in this advocacy role, as I also considered them the first ladies in their corners. I was also able to engage with CSOs, persons with disabilities, ex-convicts, and communities around the country. So quite a wide cross-section. During these interactions, I was privileged to hear firsthand the challenges faced by young people in our country, in both rural and urban Botswana. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not by chance that the global community has taken notice of Botswana's solid commitment and concerted efforts to fight the HIV/AIDS scourge, and thereby entrusted me on your behalf to be the UNAIDS champion for the empowerment and engagement of adolescent girls and young women. This recognition, in fact, affirms confidence in the partnerships that exist between Botswana and international stakeholders, where joint initiatives have brought tangible and impactful outcomes. It is true, the new role recently bestowed upon me during the sidelines of the 78th session of the United Nations General Assembly is meant to leverage on my advocacy efforts, ensuring they're extended not only locally, but globally. Botswana achievements have been stated, but I shall repeat that so far they remain admirable, having been awarded the WHO Silver Tier status, besides surpassing the 95, 95, 95 targets. As a nation, we remain indebted to the legends such as our former president, His Excellency Festus Mogae, who took a bold step to tell the world about our HIV/AIDS story and seeking assistance to save a whole nation. While we celebrate these fine achievements, the HIV incident rates in adolescent girls and young women still remain an area of great concern, as stated earlier, particularly in the sub-Saharan Africa. Recent fact sheet. In sub-Saharan Africa, adolescent girls and young women accounted for more than 77% of new infections among young people aged 15 to 24 years in 2022. Fact 2, every week, 4,000 adolescent girls and young women aged 15 to 24 years became infected with HIV globally in 2020. 3,100 of these infections occurred in sub-Saharan Africa. Bring it home, a number was cited that in the latest Botswana AIDS Impact Study of 2021, 24% of new infections are attributable to adolescent girls and young women. So, ladies and gentlemen, this justifies the urgency. So it is business unusual, something that we had stated during Dipalametse, but it continues usual. From a personal reflection standpoint, during 2019, a countrywide roadshow was undertaken with NAPA and UNAIDS as the lead, labeled 𝐷𝐒𝐒𝐿𝐴, which meant things are on an upward tempo. And by the way, it was named by these very youngsters. The road shows were going by the message, the last sprint towards ending HIV in Botswana by 2030. This entailed dialogues with the local leadership, school children, and the public, focusing mainly on behavioral risks that fuel new HIV infections. La Rona so eloquently pointed out these behavioral risks, but I will just emphasize two main ones: intergenerational and transactional relationships. She found it easier to say the S word, but I'll hang on because I think she said it all. Risky S behaviors, including alcohol, drugs, and multiple concurrent partners. Here we are today, the numbers still reflect a worrying trend, despite the investments and the budget put into 𝐷𝐒𝐿𝐴. Through meaningful engagement with young people, a number of issues were raised, which informed the development of the strategic framework for the First Lady of the Republic of Botswana as UNAIDS Special Ambassador for the Empowerment and Engagement of Youth in Botswana. Let me mention that these areas that were deemed the strategic focus areas were actually arrived at after consultation with the young people. And this was HIV and AIDS, social and economic empowerment, and finally, mental health. While these still remain very relevant, I believe aspects of life orientation, currently not covered in the school's curriculum, will be included, as it is an area that is crucial in their lives. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I am also proud to highlight that through the continued partnership and collaboration with NAPA, UNAIDS, and other development partners, there's been other successful meaningful engagements with young people through various interventions such as the social and asset building symposia, the youth-led dialogues on drug use, and male engagement and boys, let's talk. Let me at this moment say, ladies and gentlemen, parents, Mele Lona, the adolescent girls and young women, let us not leave the young boys behind and the young men. They need us too. Some of them actually are going through these very challenges. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us not forget to extend our hands too to those young men who one day marry these young women. Ladies and gentlemen, now that an initial seed has been planted and the adolescent girls and young women still remain at risk, what would I do differently? First, and most importantly, I call upon you, the young people, the adolescent girls and young women, but together with the boys on this one, join me as we not only solicit ideas for program priorities, I invite you to join in the design of these programs, particularly those focusing on economic empowerment. I encourage the youth CSOs to use a common voice and implement programs as one, rather than working in silos and competing for resources. It is very difficult to support you because you are very fragmented in this space. Work as partners. In that way, it brings greater visibility. To governments, review and increase investments in youth. Let that number, let that budget line be deliberate. Let us allocate funds to the youth. We will need to redesign and revamp our interventions so that they can be of higher impact, more age appropriate, and more relevant to our young people. And we can do that by bringing the young people to the decision-making tables as they guide us for relevance. I'd like to say again something that I've said in the last 2 months to you, Bongwanaka, fear nothing. If you are not invited to those tables, bring your chair. So long as you are respectful, and you don't injure anybody, just gently say, Mama, Papa, His Excellency, Her Honor, may I join you? And trust me, Bongwanaka, we will allow you at the table. In conclusion, let me pledge that in this role as UNAIDS champion for the empowerment and engagement of young people, I continue to call for the meaningful engagement of the young people in this country. I continue to pledge my commitment in working with young people to create that enabling environment as well as safe spaces for easy access by the youth to a wide range of youth-targeted interventions and services. But I'll need you to define them, Many a time, we use this very wording, but we want to define those safe spaces. What does safe mean to you? What do these youth-targeted interventions and services look like? So you have quite an assignment there, Bongwanaka. I remain resolute in directing my energies towards supporting the adolescent girls and young women of this world, particularly the most vulnerable, while ensuring they thrive and meet their full potential. Let us all contribute to the global efforts in ending the AIDS epidemic by 2030, in particular, making it our individual responsibility that our adolescent girls and young women are not left behind. I'm counting on your support in executing the honorary responsibilities of a champion. Ladies and gentlemen, junior hurricanes and senior hurricanes, I thank you for your attention.